I think the benefits are like you already have a network. So for us, you have the network of other bookkeepers to rely on and help you out. If you want to go on holidays or you're sick and you need someone to step in and help you out, then we can do that. So there's that really good basic ability to help each other out. From my point of view, probably the main ones. And then, you've got the business things of you're going to get leads in our network. Some of your advertising's taken care of. You've got the gym's name. Just having the gyms in front of your name gives you credibility straight away.
So today we're joined by Denise, and you're our regional franchisor for Gyms Bookkeeping in Tasmania. So do you want to start with a bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Gyms group?
Okay. So almost exactly 4 years ago now, I decided I needed to do something for myself. I like working for myself. I've had businesses before. So I looked at what my skill set was, and basically it's accounting, bookkeeping, business mentoring. So I found Gyms online, basically talked to our divisional. And then while I was at training, he also mentioned the franchisor was available in Tassie. And I thought, oh, well, why not jump in?
And what were you doing prior to Gyms, or what were you looking at doing?
I used to own a franchise in the automotive industry and managed and ran that, sold that, and I was working in that for the current owners now. And I was only going to be there for a short amount of time, and that sort of became a longer amount of time. But like I said, I was working for myself, so I wanted to go back to being self-employed, basically.
And what was it about Gyms? Did you look at anything else, or was it only Gyms at the time?
No, I pretty much only looked at gyms at the time, to be honest. In our division, obviously, you have to, you should become a BAS agent and become registered with a tax practitioner board. And that's not easy to do if you're not already in an accounting firm and have supervision. So that was the main reason I joined, was the BAS supervision and the support that's available. I do actually know a couple of people who have gyms franchises in other divisions, and so spoke to them about what the gym system was like, and they loved it. So yeah, pretty much I only really spoke to the gyms guys and went to training, jumped on board, and yeah, here we are 4 years later. So.
And how many franchisees do you currently have in your division?
There's 4 of us in Tassie.
And do you want to talk?
I suppose a smaller one compared to some, but yeah, we're a good group of people.
Yeah, and do you want to talk about maybe some of the franchisees you have, maybe a bit about their backgrounds and how they're doing in their business?
Yeah, so we have a bit of a variety. One is an ex-air traffic controller. He has an accounting degree, but spent most of his professional working life as an air traffic controller in the Army or the Air Force. And he has now wanting to, he's away from that and wanted to do something for himself. So he has joined Gyms. Basically the same reason as me, BAS support, leads, and just having backup and support when you need it. So that's him. Another guy, he has another business in like the building industry, and he wanted to develop his accounting skills, and that's what he wants to do as he gets older and doesn't want to be on the tools as much. Funnily enough, he went to training. He's been with Gyms, I think, nearly 3 years. He went to training and applied some of the Gyms philosophy on customer service in his building business, and he was telling me about 6 months ago that he's seen an increase of, I think, about 30%, and it's mainly just due to customer service and referrals now that happens. So
that's great to hear. And I was going to say as well, do you want to outline for people then what your role as a franchisor is? So franchisor is obviously a unique term, sort of gyms and people in franchising. So if someone's watching this in your area, can you just explain to them what your role is as a franchisor?
Yeah, basically, I suppose I see it as business support, really, business support and mentoring. So helping them set their business up and just giving them confidence, encouraging them. That's probably the main thing I see, and obviously you're there also to help them understand, the rules around marketing and advertising and whatever. But basically, it really is mental support. And you're there if they've got any questions or they just want to talk to someone. Sometimes they just want to talk about how their business is going, where they see their direction, and you're the person that they'll ring and have a chat to.
With the division as well, what type of services can people offer, or do you guys provide in the division?
Oh, so we're obviously bookkeeping. So in our division, we have basic bookkeeping. We can lodge people's BAS, payroll. We're just entering into plan management. And tax, we also have income tax. So we have tax agents in our division as well. So a wide variety of things. We can help people with their cash flow. just understanding their numbers really is what we're there for, to help people. Help clients grow their business really and understand their numbers and not feel like they can't ask questions. Because a lot of the time people have maybe a tax agent or they're a tax accountant and they don't often feel they can ask those sort of questions, basic questions. Whereas with us, we're, I guess, a bit more approachable, generally, touch wood. And so we're just there to help them with their business.
I think I was talking to Lloyd, who's for people who don't know, the divisional franchisor, and you guys got a really, truly, I think it's a unique offering in gyms where you could work fully remote. So you don't, want to work fully remote from anywhere. Plus you can take clients from out all over Australia if you really had networks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So for us, it's location is, I wouldn't say irrelevant, but it's not a big factor. I mean, I work from home. I go to one client a week and I'm there for about 3 or 4 hours, and that's the only client that I go out to site for. So I walk. This is my office. It's my house. So we can work anywhere. So we use Zoom. We use all our software is on 99% of software is all online in the cloud. So for us, we don't need to have an office or work away from home. So it's allows, I guess, for an easy setup. And then the downside of that is you can be a bit isolated, but because we're in a group and we have, like every week we call it Ask the Expert. So we have a Zoom in every week where every franchisee, if they're available, can jump online, have a chat about, we sometimes get guest speakers, and other times we, if anyone's got questions or queries amongst ourselves, we just sit and brainstorm and solve those questions.
It's a great point because, it's as all the divisions in gyms, it's the one way if you want true flexibility, where if you want to work remote and travel around and, it's just, there's not many ones can offer that in the divisions.
Yeah, there's one of the bookkeepers that I know in Queensland. He recently went away for a week in his caravan. So he took some time off and didn't do a lot of work, but sometimes there's, things that crop up or you have payrolls to do for people. So you just take that on the road with you and you go. So that's fairly common. Even our divisional, he has he calls it his mobile office, but, essentially it's his caravan. And he goes off for about 2 months every year and goes to the north of WA. But he's contactable for us. Essentially, wouldn't even know that he wasn't in his office. So
absolutely. And I think there'd be a lot of people who maybe are accountants or CPAs, working in that office environment who would want to change. And something like this is really perfect for them. Because they can have flexibility and they can.
Yeah, and you set your own hours. So you can sit at home. I regularly would take sort of like a month, say, often I take Monday afternoons off and I go and do whatever it is that I want to do. But then you'll see me sometimes, Sunday afternoon working or late one night working to sort of get through. But I can set my own hours to a certain extent. Obviously you've got to be available if your clients want to talk to you, but, you can work. Some of the mums, they'll do school drop-offs, do school pickup, work in between that. It's a really flexible. One of the other bookkeepers I know, he wouldn't start work until probably about now, so sort of 10:30 in the morning, but he'll be regularly working 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and that's his productive time of day. So you can work around when you want, really, probably much more than any other division for us.
Absolutely, yeah. So I remember talking to a couple of guys up in the Gold Coast at the Test and Tag conference, that their difference in their life from what they were doing before to running the business was just, you could see how much of a difference it made for them.
One of those guys you're talking about was one of the ones in the caravan the other week.
There we go. That's the one. There you go. So it's amazing to hear the difference between what they were doing previously and their lifestyle compared to what it is now.
Yeah. I live on 120 acres. I've got a small farm, so I can go out and do whatever I need to do with one of the animals if I have to, and then come back and work. It's easy. It's great flexibility.
And let's talk about now the new franchisee offering. So let's say, for example, someone's got the skills and they go, right, I like the sounds of the lifestyle. I want to have that flexibility. So they want to buy a Jim's Bookkeeping franchise. So just talk through the process and what's involved with it.
Yep. So basically for us, you do have to have some sort of qualification. I'll be working towards qualification. So the minimum would be a Cert 4 in bookkeeping. So then they would talk to us. We do have an online training that we would encourage. Well, they do have to do it in the end, but it's over a couple of Thursday nights, and then there's some homework in between that they have to do, and with the idea that they develop a business plan. And it's a way for them to really see if we're a fit together, because we want to make sure that they're happy with us, but also that we're happy with them to join our group. But we're we're quite a small group, in the big scheme of gyms. There's only about 50 franchisees, but we're a very, very close-knit group. And so we want to make sure that people, fit well and are there for the long term. We don't want people to come in and fail. We want people to be successful and to enjoy the division. So then they come along, do that, see if that works for them. And then they would go to head office training with all the other potential gyms franchisees, and then join if they need BAS supervision or tax agent supervision. We provide a supervisor. We would nominate a supervisor out of one of us that does supervision, and then they would start, away they go.
And let's talk about now the client acquisition. So a lot of people might go, well, how do the leads work and how do I generate clients?
Yeah.
So do you want to talk through the processes that you guys have with that?
Yep. So it's just about to be announced. So, well, I assume it will be, so I'll say it here. We're just partnering with one of the major softwares. I won't say which one it is because it really hasn't been announced, and I know they want to announce it, but they are about to essentially send us, every person that signs up with their software, they are now going to send us a referral and work that way. So we're expecting that to be absolutely massive and for us to be overrun, to be honest. Otherwise, for us, there's all the other gyms guys. So we're probably the one division that can help every other division in gyms. So for us, the other gyms franchisees are leads for us and perfect way for us to develop clients. And we also understand the gym system. We understand how leads work and their billing and all that sort of stuff. So they're probably our, bread and butter clients, and we have access to them in our network. And obviously, then there's other advertising that we do to generate leads. So, yeah.
And how many how many customers do you have in your business? Like, what's the sort of customer base that people are building?
I mean, it varies considerably depending on the size of your client. So I've got about 35. That's probably average. Most people, if they're not employing someone else or subcontracting within the group, they're probably about 30 to 35. A lot depends. I know one of the guys, he's got about 70. He does some subcontracting, but he has a lot of small clients, whereas I have quite a few larger clients. So, but 30 is probably an average that ongoing clients that people have that before they're sort of at the point they're employing someone else or subcontracting out.
I was going to say as well, with what sort of else is included in the franchise fee? Is there uniforms? Is there signage? What else do they get when they start?
Yeah, so for us, uniform, signage, we give them access to free software. So they will get a free Xero subscription, a free MyOb subscription, a free QuickBooks subscription. We have a lot of training. So we have our own online training systems that allow just our internal stuff that helps them out. So we have a lot of that. We have some stuff on payroll. We have some stuff on plan management. We have a lot of stuff on, just developing your own business. And then we have access to, guest speakers, and we have our own someone at QuickBooks that we can call and ask if we have a question on software. We have someone we can call for MyOb and Xero and that sort of stuff. So that's probably, so for us in reality, a setup is not as expensive as other divisions either. So, uniform, car signage, and you need a computer with a modem, and Wi-Fi. And that's and a phone. And realistically, that's probably all you need to set up and go. So it's not too bad in terms of that sort of thing.
And what's to you is the benefit of being in another franchise as well? What's to you of the benefit of going the franchise route as opposed to maybe starting up their own consultancy or?
Well, I think the benefits are you already have a network. So for us, you have the network of other bookkeepers to rely on and help you out. If you want to go on holidays or you're sick or, God forbid something awful happens in your family and you need someone to step in and help you out, then we can do that. For example, we have one of my franchisees actually over the weekend, his daughter is extremely sick and she's been medevaced to Victoria. So he rang me up and so straight away, don't worry about it, we'll look after your business while you're off. So there's that really good basic ability to help each other out. From my point of view, probably the main ones. And then, you've got the business things of you're going to get leads for, in our network. So obviously, as a franchisor, I network with the other Tasmanian franchisors. So we have a really strong link to the cleaning division and the fencing division, for example, here in particular. And so we have those leads available. They refer their franchisees to us So straight away, you've already got a referral network that you don't have if you set up by yourself. Some of your advertising's taken care of. You've got the gym's name, and whilst that, gym's bookkeeping might not be, people think of gym's mowing and gym's cleaning and, gym's dog wash, but just having the gyms in front of your name gives you credibility straight away. So it's a definite bonus.
Absolutely. People, don't underestimate, but the definitely the brand and the trust that comes with it. You don't have to establish that credibility almost in a way. People know what...
People automatically go, oh, gyms. Oh, I didn't, they may say, I didn't know gyms does bookkeeping, but it automatically gives you, like I say, credibility and trust. And in our business, trust is a huge thing because we're looking at people's numbers and their finances. And, probably we know more about how much money they have in their business than, members of their own family do. So it's a really, for us, trust is a really big thing. And just having the gym's name at the front means you have, you've already got a foot in the door. So
absolutely. I also think it's way more accessible. Like, I don't know about, I'm just talking from my own personal perspective, but like, going to an accountant, like instantly you think when you have to go to an accountant or get an accountant, it's expensive. But you guys, I know, it's way more, I think it's way more accessible. And from a pricing point of view, it's just far better option. I almost going you guys.
Yeah. And obviously, not all of us are tax agents. For example, I'm not a tax agent. I don't want to be a tax agent, but I work actually quite closely with an accountant here in Tassie, and I know that he refers people to me because I am cheaper than he is. And also, a lot of the time they don't have, no offense to tax agents, but sometimes they're not working at a base level. They're not working in the business with their clients, so they're often working, unless they're doing tax planning, they're working on the past year, so you go to your accountant at the end of a year and they're looking at things that have happened, 12 months ago. Whereas with us, you're looking at things that are happening kind of now, or at least in the last month or so. So if there's an issue or we think a client, they might just need a bit of hey, let's have a chat about where you're going, a bit worried about, are you doing okay? Is there anything you want to chat about? We're sort of there in the moment with them. So, and I guess they probably feel we're a bit more approachable because of that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I really think that's a great point because I know you guys jump on the meetings for Zors and stuff like that. And, you're, as you said, you're right in there at the coalface with a lot of the franchisees. That this is just speaking with the gym system and knowing exactly what goes on and in real time you can provide advice and help out, which I think is a really, really good point.
Yeah. It just helps people feel more secure in their business and gives them a bit more confidence. And just being, particularly when we're working with the other gyms guys, we're going along with our gym shirt. We're not looking like we're not able to have a conversation with them about what their business is. We get what their business is. So
absolutely. Now, your region in particular, and Denise, how much room do you have to grow? How many franchisees could you have on in your region?
Easily, we're all Southern Tasmanian based, so I would absolutely love to have someone or several people in the north and the northwest of Tassie. So I could easily, I could say I could easily double in the next 12 months and still have room. So for me, it's, I guess I see this as a slow, from my personal perspective, we're maybe a slower growing division because you do have to have qualifications and that, knocks people out and experience. So that sort of knocks people out initially perhaps. But the capacity is definitely there to grow quickly and have a business and a lifestyle that you want. So, for me, anyone listening, talk to me. It'd be great.
Having the ability, if you can replace your income but be able to travel and, have that flexibility, it's just a no-brainer for anyone who's working in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. You can take one of my franchisees last year, he started. So he's only just been 12 months now. He'd already booked a holiday to Singapore when he started. He picked up a fairly big client in his first couple of weeks. Rather than sort of say to the client, I can't start for another month, he actually, went with his laptop and was away on the cruise. And whenever he possibly could, he jumped online and did some work because he didn't want to lose that client, at the start, basically. So, and, the other things that needed to be done, like I could do it for him from here. The flexibility is phenomenal. And I know that, for example, I was working I'd taken some time off during the week. So one weekend, I just like, no, I'm just going to work all weekend because I chose to. So, 9 a.m., 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I'm working away. And then I had a software, something in one of the software packages. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to deal with something. So I just we have a Facebook chat group. Yep. And so I just put in that, anyone, able to tell me the best way to process this. And someone Zoomed with me while they were in bed on a Sunday morning. So that's the support that we have in our group, really.
And as I say, if someone wants to join you guys, what sort of characteristics, or what would you sort of say? What are some questions they should actually ask themselves before starting the process? What are some things you would?
Realistically, I mean, obviously, aside from the qualifications, and the qualifications, you can work towards those. So realistically, it's an ability to connect with people, because you are dealing with people in a situation that people can feel very vulnerable talking about their finances and their income and whatever. So you have to have the ability to talk to people and just make them feel, I guess, safe and comfortable. So realistically, it's the ability to communicate, I think, is probably the big issue. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So you're handling a lot of very sensitive information. And as you said before, they might not even, their partners or whatever might not know.
Yeah. Certainly they're probably not talking to their, they're not going to a family barbecue and going, oh, here's my profit and loss for, the last month. They don't talk about that to other people. So it's realistically them feeling confident in you and the ability to trust you. So communication and the ability to make people feel safe, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also think that you guys, the great thing to point out is the your client longevity will be so much longer than a lot of other people, just because once they get
one-off jobs aren't common for us. You might get a one-off job cleaning up someone's books. But generally, once you've got a client, you've got them for years. So, you don't lose clients very often. So, for us, once you've got them for 4 years. So, years and years, generally.
And if someone wants to learn more, Denise, what's the best thing for them to do?
In my region, probably, just give the call centre. So 131-546, call them, ask for my details, or they'll send me your details. And I'll give them a call and we'll have a chat.
And just before we go, why do you love being part of Gyms, Denise? You've got a really good attitude. You're really heavily involved with networking with, I know, Josh and the Zors and stuff down there. You're really owned up the brand. So what do you love about being a part of Gyms?
Probably feeling that you belong, but you're still by yourself. So I have my own business. I can work my own hours. I choose my own clients to a certain extent. I can pick and choose a lot. But it's having, I guess, a network of people for backup. For example, this morning I rang Josh because I needed to do something in FMS, which is our software, and I couldn't remember how to do it. So I just rang her and she just talked me through it on the phone. Having that connection to other people in the group, whether they're in my division or another division, is, I like that. I like the fact that there are other people to lean on if you need it. And whilst you have your own business, you're not alone.
Absolutely. No, I think it's a great division. I think it's one of it is truly the lifestyle business in gyms. If you look at it objectively, you guys can travel anywhere and work from anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Lloyd's half the year up in Broome.
Internet or phone.
Yeah, Lloyd's half the year up in Broome, doing work. I think if you want that sort of flexibility, lifestyle, ability to make a good money, I think it's probably the number one in gyms, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. The flexibility around work-life balance is whatever you want it to be in our division. So
absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Denise. And I hope if anyone's watching or listening who wants to join Gyms Bookkeeping, please call 131-546 or inquire online via the website. And Denise, you provide a lot of great insights, so we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, Joe. No worries at all.
Thank you for listening to the episode of the Gyms podcast. If you want to learn more about the Gyms Group, head to gyms.net or call us on 131-546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.